Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, the 19th. Wow. July 19th. We're getting there. I'm not really sure where we're getting to. Good morning. How's everyone today? So, let's see who joins us before I begin. But I just want to say good morning. It's Wednesday, July 19th. Let's see. Hoping to get to Dion's bar class today. I've been on vacation and I haven't been able to get there, so I'm hoping to get back there very shortly. Hi, Jacob. How are you? Hi, Stephanie. Eugene's with us. Stephanie Twitchell's with us. Oh, wow, we have a lot of people with us this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to read some names for a little bit and then we'll get on to the show. But first I want to tell you, it's Women Crush Wednesday, right? So tell me who you think we're doing today. I fixed my hair special for this woman. Who might it be? Which artist? Anybody have an idea? Let's see. Hi, Luigi. Ciao. Hi, Mark. Good morning, Mark. How are you? Good morning, Stephanie, Nicholas, James. Wow. I'm sorry. Nicholas, I said that. Wow, it's so many great people. So this is Smart Start. And what we do is we start with a piece of art every day. And we look at the art and we think about it and we go on with our day. And it's a way of getting people to look at art as a daily practice, as something that's a part of our everyday life. So instead of, it's very hard to get to museums. I know that. It happens to be part of my work, so it's easier for me to get to museums, but even so, they're also very expensive at times, and memberships are expensive. So this is a way of just bringing it to you, bringing art to everyone. And it always helps me with starting my day and getting things going. So I'm hoping it provides the same for you. So who else? Tom, it's not Frida. It's not Frida. I thought people would think it was Frida. Okay, let's think again. But it was a really good guess, Tom. Thank you. Luigi Acamporo. Ciao. Magid and Jacob Christner. Jacob, how are you? Okay, Jacob. Here we go. Who am I doing today? Which artist? I expect Stephanie will get this. And it's not Frida. All right. So we're going to take a look. And Brenda, how are you? So here, why don't we begin? Smart Start. And here we go. Look at this. Tell me who we have here. We have Georgia O'Keeffe. Ciao, Jacob. Hi, Stephanie. We have I'm sure there are a lot more artists on the feed than I shout out. I don't know everybody as being artists, but I do know some of the artists. So I want to shout out Stephanie Brody Lederman, who's a wonderful artist, and I've been following her work for a long time. Yeah, Georgia. Mark got it. Georgia O'Keeffe, but of course it's right there. But Mark, you got it before. Okay, so as you guys know, maybe you know, recently came back from vacation, and when we vacation in the summer, we love the desert. We really love the desert. I never, growing up in my 20s, in my 30s, I'm not going any higher than that, okay? I never thought about really going to the desert or enjoying the desert, or I knew the desert from one song that I've always loved so much, and it kind of played in the back of my head as this anthem, as this haunting anthem. And the heat was hot, the ground was dry, and the air was full of sound. Does anyone know what that song is? I could sing it, but my husband will really cringe, and he's on the feed today. Yeah, love her work. Oh, Brenda, you lived in Santa Fe? Yeah, I'd like you to talk a little bit about the light. Thank you, Jacob. So we went to the desert again this summer. We went to the Mojave Desert this time, and we went to Joshua Tree. And it is magical. It is just the most magical place. There's something that happens in the desert And I really can't put my finger on it, but it's just amazing. And do you guys get the reference here? The heat was hot, the ground was dry, and the air was full of sound. That's the from this. I'm not going to tell it. I want you guys to try to get it. Hi, who else is here first? I see all these hearts. I love this. Kiev, George, Lapo. Thank you for joining. Patrick Robichard's with us again. Yay, Patrick. Yay. Patrick is responsible for the flat iron. Whoever didn't shout him out and show him love yesterday, you better do it today. So, something magical happens in the desert. Yeah, all those hearts are for Patrick, right? Thank you. And I've yet to put my finger on it. It's very hard to articulate. And I'm going to do a show with images from the desert and an archaeologist I got to speak to when I was there. But I thought I wanted to cover Georgia O'Keeffe because she looms so large in American culture, in American art history, and in art history in general. But I wanted to just look at her desert work and because we all know the flowers. Hi, Chelo. Oh, thank Tom. That's so nice. Love you, Patrick. That's so nice. So I want to read you this because this first image of hers, I always, honestly, these images were a little hard for me to take in the beginning, the skulls and such, and not having been in the desert prior to when I first looked at her work, I didn't necessarily take to it or understand it. There was something about it that felt very austere and very, I'm not really sure of the word, austere, but also, I don't want to say aggressive because that's not the right word. Because I did not understand the landscape, I wasn't drawn to this work. And so when I don't understand the landscape, or when I don't understand a work and I don't feel drawn to it, I specifically then want to look at it and see what it is that's bothering me or compelling me about the work, because that's art. If you feel strongly negatively or positively, those are very good things. It's indifference that we don't want. Let's see. I wanted to know what technique I use for these masterpieces. You mean the technique that she used, is that correct, Luigi? Hi, Gio. So nice to have you here this morning. So this is from the Far Away Nearby, 1937, and let me read you this. Okay. The highly charged contrast of closely viewed foreground details and hugely distant horizons, which typified the New Mexico views of O'Keeffe, was not a mere optical illusion. The large-scale bright light and clear air of the region permitted one to see for the proverbial forever, and the juxtaposition of far away and nearby was an integral aspect of desert vision. And that is so true. When you're in the desert, and I think whoever can speak to this on the, Denise, was it? I'm sorry, on the thing. When you're in the desert, there is this far away and nearby, this closeness, this distance, and it all plays with each other. And it's really amazing, and she captures it here. It's a phenomenon. Since 1935, O'Keeffe had been experimenting with compositions that combined skeletal and landscape imagery without regard to their relative size, scale, or perspective. Rendering each element in equally sharp focus, she blurred the spatial distinctions between what is perceived as being near and what is far. Here, an enormous animal skull rests tentatively on the narrow strip of land at the bottom, emphasizing the strong similarities between the color and shape of the enormous antlers and the hilltop peaks. Despite her hyper-realistic painting style, there is no I'm sorry. This is me in the morning without having any tea yet. As you see, I'm drinking my tea. Forget it. We're going to go over it. Even the animal skulls with its extravagant number of antlers is an imaginative invention. Merging these images into a single composition, however, may have been O'Keeffe's way of summarizing her feelings about the Southwest. Originally titled Deer's Horn near Cameron, After her 1937 camping trip to Arizona with photographer Ansel Adams, she later gave it a more poetic title that suggests both a physical and emotional reality. O'Keeffe wrote in 1976 that far away was a beautiful, untouched, lonely feeling place. I really love this. And now, having been in several deserts, this piece really just, she captures the feeling of the desert so beautifully. I want to take a look at this piece. I don't have an attribution to this. It's her work. I just didn't have the name, and I'll find it all. Oh, I need that tea. You think I'd get up earlier? Please comment. I want to hear what you have to say about this. This works best as a dialogue as opposed to just me talking. What I really love about what she's done is that she really takes a picture of America in a different way. You know, everybody thinks of artists being in Europe or in New York and creating their work from their studios or such. But Georgia O'Keeffe really, when she left the East Coast, good morning, Mark, she really took on New Mexico in such a profound way, and she gives us a picture of America that is so important to have. I want to read you something. To look at Georgia O'Keeffe's painting is to see America. Throughout her career, from her first show in 1916 to the late 70s, the indomitable artist was concerned with what it meant to paint her country, and she became captivated by the wide plains, rocky outcrop, and bold blue skies of New Mexico, her adopted home. And I like this next part I'm going to read you because I think it's so true, and I have felt this as well. Let's take a look at this piece as I'm reading. She complained that the U.S. lagged behind Europe because American modernists failed to engage with their own country. No wonder no one was writing the great American novel or painting the great American vision, she said. I was excited over our country, but knew at the time almost any of those great minds would have been in Europe if it were possible for them. They didn't even want to live in New York. How was the great American thing going to happen? You know, when I have been in the desert, when I have been on Navajo Nation, the different areas of the country, especially the desert, that's why I chose O'Keeffe this morning. You feel it from your feet upward. Your whole body is encompassed in the desert. And one thing that I have felt, especially on Navajo Nation in Canyon de Chelly, was that until as Americans we embrace the soil, until we embrace wholly our history, the truth of our history, not just what the history book says, but the real truth of who we are, how we got here, what we did to create this land for ourselves, and the toll that was paid by others. We will never truly understand America and our place in it. And we need to embrace that with all its ugly truth, but also all of its beautiful promise. And so I feel that O'Keeffe, by venturing out, by leaving New York, by leaving this important place of art at the time, she did paint us a picture of America, the great, of the beauty of this country. Everything moves way too fast and I think that that's true, Jacob, but I do think that people are out there, right? I do think that an artist like Georgia O'Keeffe has given us the definitive look at the American Southwest. I really do. And it's just so magical. And it's just such an important landscape. And it's rugged and it's difficult. It is really difficult. That's my dog Newton screeching in the background. Do you hear him? It's a difficult landscape to be in. But there's something that you give to it, but more importantly, that it's something that gives back to you that is transformative. Brenda, yes, the painting truly captures the light of the area. It does, right, Brenda? It's just amazing how she did that, and how she brought that out. And she not only lived in that landscape, she lived in the landscape, but she embodied it, and kind of it embodied her. She became a part of it. And when you're in the desert, you feel a part of it. And I told this story. Oh no, I know you're saying no one says she hasn't. See, the difference, Jacob brings up a good point, the difference between America and Europe. Oh no, Tom, I'm not showing those flowers today. We're just going to look at the desert today. We'll show her flowers at another time. Here's the thing, that America, and who was it? What? Oh my God, I wish my son were out of bed because he knows this. Brenda, anybody on the feed? Who was the president? It was Teddy Roosevelt, who felt very, very, very strongly that America's museums it's the beautiful land. That's why we have the national parks, and they are so important to visit and to see. And that in Europe, one goes to visit a building, a museum, and the art in the building. But in America, it is our vast ecosystem of land and what this beautiful expanse that we have. And so that people like Georgia O'Keeffe went out into the land, and her being a woman goes out into this rugged landscape and stays there and captures this, is just monumental and a gift to us all. Yes, Stephanie, she showed the small and large of that American landscape is monumental. Yes, it does. It feels monumental, and yet it also feels, yeah, I think that's right. It feels monumental. And when you're in the desert, it is monumental. It is. Something happens when you're there. The light, the heat. When we were there, as long as it was, if it hit 110, it was a little uncomfortable. But below that, you're fine because the heat is hot. It's not a humid heat. But there's, and it is the song, if you didn't get it, it was The Horse with No Name. Does everybody know that song? Let me go back to that. The heat was hot, the ground was dry, the air was full of sound. It's exactly right. At one point, I made a little bit of a video for everyone because I wanted you just to hear the sound around me. It's just encompassing. It's so beautiful. And I love that she left New York, found her voice, found her home, and then has this to give us and to live on. And so Georgia O'Keeffe's Deserts win the Women Crush Wednesday. And I know that Tom wants the flowers, but this is about as much of the flowers as, great artists like this, Picasso, O'Keeffe, Van Gogh, Pollock, their work covers a huge expanse, but usually there's something within that you could see a thread line through that connects it all. And so I think for O'Keeffe, we see just in this image alone how you could look at this image and also see her flowers. And I think that an artist their work covers a lot of ground. So what I'll probably do is split up Georgia O'Keeffe with her flowers and watercolors, the desert, so we can see a lot more of hers. Let's see what Stephanie says. The antlers are like the flowers. I agree. And it's amazing the things, you see. You're just walking in the desert and you just see these pieces of bone and such on the ground. And she would take them home, and she would oftentimes paint from her home. But the colors are amazing, too, the colors that she found. She lived in this adobe-like home right there in New Mexico. I will post an article about her in her home, some pictures of her home and such for everybody to see. So for Women Crush Wednesday, I want to say this: pioneer, total pioneer woman, goes out there into the desert and creates this body of work and makes this life for herself away from the sophisticated, male-centric New York City of artists who are creating and would prefer to be in Europe, but for some reason are not there. And she goes out and she finds in America that is so magical and so important and rugged and difficult. And so I love that. I really love that about her. So thank you all for joining today. Please continue to write in about your feelings about this. And Tom, feel free to post any pictures on this feed of some of the flowers that you like. And I'm going to post some pieces on the feed. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be on Cheddar on Friday to talk about Serena's new show at the Flatiron. Hi, Rena. Hi, Dallas. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day. I'm going to try really hard to get to Dion's bar class today. I'm just getting back into my whole schedule. And, but, oh my God, do I need to exercise? All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. And remember, if you didn't comment on the feed, that's okay. You can comment anytime during the day. You can comment on yesterday's shows or shows in the past. It's all there on my Facebook page. Thank you and have a great Wednesday. Bye-bye.